Alright, so we're going to generate our server, our API, right? So let's stop this for now. Let me close this, and I want to put both. This is the client folder, this is the client project, and I want to put the server project also here within this folder, links daily. So let me move all this to a client folder. So first of all, let me stop this for now. We're not going to need it for a while because we're going to work with the server. And here, this is my project directory here. So this is the React Native application, the front end. So let me put that in a new folder. Alright, so let me put that in a new folder. Let's give it a name of client. Okay, call it client. Alright, so links daily. Inside that folder, I have this client project, and now I'm going to create a server. So create another folder called server. And server we're going to generate in seconds, just like magic, using Colorado. So let me take it to, so what you can do is npmjs.com. you can go there and you can search for Colorado. Alright, so this is the one we're going to use. So this one we already used earlier. So you can see helper tool for generating routes, controllers, models, and complete authentication. So all you have to do is install Colorado globally. So use this command, copy that. So here we are inside links daily folder. We have the server. Let's get inside server. All right, nothing here. Now here, let's actually we just have to install that globally, so you can run that from anywhere. npm install -g Colorado. And once you have, oh, actually I need to use sudo command, sudo npm. Let me just paste that. Alright, so once it's installed globally, we're going to run this command, Colorado make auth. Okay, so here that's installed. Now let me run this command, Colorado make auth. And you can see here, it has created all these files for us. It has created package.json, gitignore, controllers, routes, some helper functions, a user model. And you can see here, once you update .env variables, your server with full authentication will be ready to use. Just type npm install and npm start and see your API running in the endpoint. Okay, so that's how it's going to work, just like magic, which is incredible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the env files first, right? So let's go, and you can see here we have the server, and just like magic, we have the server here. Now if you're new to it, I will obviously explain to you. And by the way, if you want to build this server from scratch and want to know how everything is done, most of my full stack courses in Udemy, most of the Monstack, the full stack courses, all of them, pretty much all of them, they have the backend API, and I have always created the server from absolute scratch. So you can always check those courses if you want to learn how to do it from scratch. Otherwise, it is ready to use, and it's very simple to understand as well, which I will explain to you. Actually, I do it now, and then we're going to update the variables here. So this is the only thing you have to do to start this. Start using this backend. Okay, so you have to have the MongoDB URI, which you can get from Mongo Atlas. So you can sign up to Mongo Atlas and get this connection string for free, and then you can sign up to SendGrid and get the secret key and put that here. That's all you need to do. Put your real email address here, and then you can start using a server. Now let me introduce you to the files and folders directory for a while, and then probably in the next video we're going to get the connection string and sign up to SendGrid. So we have both of these and we will be ready to use. Alright, so here we have the package.json file. It has the start script. When you run npm start, the index.js file will get executed, and it has all these dependencies here, standard dependencies. We have course, express, JSON web token, mongoose, the standard stuff. Okay, so let's have a look at the index.js, which is right here. So this is the entry point of our server. Whenever you run npm start, this file gets executed. All right, so basically what we have here is we have express, we have applied course middleware, we have the mongoose to interact with MongoDB, and most importantly we have the authentication routes, which we have imported here, and we have created the express app, put that in a variable app, and then we have the database connection here, and then we have applied these course as middleware, and also the auth routes that you have imported, the routes file you have applied as a middleware to your express app, and then you are listening to this server in the port 8000. Okay, pretty simple. So that's the entry point. So let's have a look at what we have in the routes file. Right, so routes file is here. We have the auth.js here. So here you can see we are using express router. We have these 4 endpoints: sign up, sign in, forgot password, and reset password. So each time you the server receive a request on these endpoints, these functions will execute. Okay, so you can see these functions you could write here obviously, but that would be a big mess, so we have put that in controllers. Okay, so basically these, whenever you get a request to this endpoint, these functions execute. So let's have a look at sign up first. Let's see how it's done. By the way, you can see they have been imported from there. So let's have a look at the controllers, and now you can see here we have the standard imports. We have the sign up function, and sign up, it will require name, email, and password from the user. There is some validation. If there is no name, no email, we send some error message. Okay, we check for the password length as well, and then we check if the user with this email already exists. If not, we create a new user. Now before we do that, we hash the plain password and we create a new user, new instance of the user, and we save that. Once we save that, we generate a token using a JWT sign, and we use the user's ID to create that token, and then we send the successful response to the client with the token and the user object. So that's how sign up works. Now same with the sign in. When sign in, you can see here user email and password will be sent here, so we receive that in the request body, and then we try to find the user from the database based on that email. If there is no user with that email, then we send this error message. Otherwise, we compare the password, the plain password that they send, and the hashed version that is saved in the database. If that match, then we can successfully log the user in. So we generate the token and again send the user and token as a response. So that's how sign in also gets successful. And for forgot password, if they forgot the password, we will ask them to enter the email address. When they enter the email address, we receive that here, and then we find the user based on that email. If we don't find that user, then obviously we send the error message. If we find that user, then we generate a code, generate short 5-digit code, save that in the user database, and also email that, and we're going to use SendGrid. You can see here we have to pass the secret key, and that's pretty much it. Really easy to use this one. All right, so we send the email with that reset code, which is also saved in the database. So when they receive that email, they will enter the code in the app and hit submit. So at that time we will receive that code. So we will find the user again in this reset password. We will find that user based on the email and the reset code, and also they will be sending the new password. So if we can find the user based on the email and reset code, then obviously we get that user, update his forgotten password with the new password, and that way he will be able to log in with the new password. Okay, so that's there, the complete authentication. So only thing now you haven't checked is the models. The user model, you can see here user model. So user model, basically you can think of it as a users table in a standard MySQL database. So in users collection in MongoDB, you will be able to save, retrieve the data, update, delete, all that using the models. Right? So first, when you create a user, you define the model. So you are basically telling the application what fields will be able to saved in the database. So name, email, and password, and roles will be saved in the database. Also the profile image. All right, that's pretty much it. Standard stuff. Again, if you want to know in depth of how all this is built from scratch, check out my any Monstack courses, and you will get full understanding. Otherwise, as you can see, there is very little code here. This is the entry point. We have the routes imported. We have the routes file. Routes file requires controller functions. So we have the controllers function. They do all the work, creating, saving, generating token and all that, and sending as a response to the client application. And we have the user model as well. Now helpers, you can see helpers has been used in the controller because we need to hash the password and compare the password, plain password with the hashed one, and for that we have some helper functions that is imported here. So we used bcrypt for that to hash the password and to compare the password. Okay, so just like magic, we have this beautiful API with authentication ready to go. So in the next lecture, let's go sign up to Mongo Atlas, get this connection string, sign up to SendGrid, get the secret key, and we up and running with our beautiful authentication server.